Today I'm discussing the 5 ways to connect with your audience and build a local fan base in 2025. Good to see everyone. It was a long break over the holiday for me, and I'm back to our weekly Wednesday live stream. So join me over here on Instagram, join me on YouTube, and all of the prior live streams are over on YouTube. Okay, so if you want to just go to the live page and you'll see all of the live streams there. So I wanted to have a quick announcement or a couple announcements. For those of you who are really looking to build your voice and decrease strain, improve resonance, and experience a free, resilient voice, for free, you can join my Better Voice Challenge. It is 4 one-hour workshops that are designed to move you through a sequence in my co-vocal method to really experience less tension, to open up and free your voice, and then to experience more resilience and more strength, right? So you can, in any post on Instagram, just respond with voice25, and we'll send you over the link to join for free. And you can also find the links everywhere. And for those of you ready to take your music career to the next level this year, hi, Easy Breezy. Hi, Sabrina. Let's see, who's here? Who else is here? Oh, Sabri, so good to see you. For those of you who are ready to take your music career to the next level, come and join our Artist Sanctuary membership. This is a monthly membership with global musicians all over the world, and you get instant access to over 100+ hours of masterminds on important topics, helping you grow as an artist and a musician. And you'll find all the information in all of our links. So let's dive into the top 5. I wanted to also let you know that we had some questions come in. We'll be posting stories at the top of the week asking you for a question related to the topic I'll be discussing at the live stream. So we had a couple questions come in. I think one of them didn't relate to this subject, so I'll pass on that. But I will answer any questions that came in prior at the end and then open up for your questions. So the topic today, the 5 secrets, I'm just going to breeze through the 5. And then this is also documented over on the blog if you want to print out and, just to read it, if you're a visual learner. So number 1 is engage with your audience consistently. And I'm going to give you some tips for how to do that and why that's so important. Leverage social media to attract followers, because social media is not the only thing you really need to be focused on, but how to leverage it to really attract or draw people in to build your fan base. Use your email list to turn casual followers into true fans, and then use authenticity and storytelling to your advantage. I'm going to talk about that briefly, and then how to use live streams and special private concerts and unique events to really forge strong connections. Okay, so let's dive in. So most independent artists today aim to build a loyal fan base that will support their music, but how do you get there? Easier said than done. Sometimes it feels like it's pulling teeth, right? It's not just about putting music out and crossing your fingers that people listen or playlists will pick it up. We have about 100,000 songs being released on socials, on streaming platforms every day. So it's not special to release a song anymore. It's special to you. But how can we make that experience special to really draw people in? It's really about creating lasting connections with your audience. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to take things to the next level, hopefully these tips today will help you grow your fan base and keep them engaged. So number 1, engage with your audience consistently. So we hear about that all the time, but why is that so important? Because one of the biggest mistakes that artists can make is to only post when you've got music to release. Does anybody do that? There's a tendency to do that. And the problem with this is that you can't stoke the algorithms at the last minute, right? And you want a warm, engaged audience to release to give it air, to give it wind and exposure, right? So consistent posting is important for social media algorithms because it helps to increase the visibility and engagement. The algorithms really favor accounts that share regular content, right? And this regularity allows the followers to anticipate posts, which can lead to higher interaction rates and broader reach. They'll literally go to your once they're used to seeing those regular posts, they'll actually go to your profile to see your posts, right? Rather than just catching it in the feed. So try this for consistent and effective social posting. And the other thing that I want to say, I was working with an artist who has trouble with that, with posting consistently, and tends to only like to post when she has music out, or music coming up. But that's not always the case, right? And so what happens is profiles can actually go dormant when you're not regularly, the algorithm isn't regularly picking you up, and then the algorithm stops picking you up. That happened to me over on X, and happened to me on Twitter/X. And I didn't post over there for like 5 years. And when I came back to it, it was really pretty dead. And now I've stimulated a new audience, but it took 1.5 years. So, it's quite a problem. So try this for consistent posting. I would post 3 times a week on your grid, and then post 3 stories a week, or, you can just repost the grid post on the story, and then whatever other stories. If you want to do stories 5 days a week and you're somebody that posts all the time or likes to do that, then do that, but a minimum of 3 times. So if you're just like posting 5 times a week when you got music out and then it goes dormant, that doesn't help the social media algorithm. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help the profile, right? And then when you're warming up to a release, then post a little bit more, maybe post 5 times a week. And during release, post every day. And then you can go back once the release is over to that 3 times a week. So 3 times a week is a minimum. 5 times a week is when you're gearing up. And during release, post 7 times a week. And I like to plan those posts out ahead of time. Look at other profiles that you like. It's nice to get some kind of rhyme or reason to it so that there's a uniformity. Like, we're just redoing our grid right now. And we love the way Matt Cook does his grid. So we're using some of his ideas there to format our content and give kind of a consistent, streamlined look, and have a reel every week, and have a quote every week, and have me on camera every week. So I think that figuring that out for yourself is important. I know the TikTok, kind of style of posting is you on camera for every post, but you don't have to do that. And that was one of the questions that I'll address now. You don't have to have your picture on every post. That's a particular style, but you don't have to adopt that style if you don't like to pop on camera all the time. But I would have like 1 a week where you do, and you can batch them. You can record them ahead of time, clip them, edit them, get them ready, that kind of thing. So number 2, leverage social media to attract followers. So social media is a great way to attract followers, but not always so easily done, particularly as a musician. I think one of the best ways is to create a variety of content: reels, carousels, static slide, polls in your stories, questions, and see what does the best. The goal is to create content that people can engage with. You can try, and when you're not releasing music, share your old stuff, share your last record, like continue to circulate that in reels. That's a great way in reels to have a beautiful landscape, and it's playing your music, and you have the lyrics, posting on the screen, something like that. That's a really great way to still draw attention to your music, your catalog. And then you can always link, or you can just share a link from Spotify. Go to Spotify, share a link there, ask for a follow at the bottom of the caption. That's another idea for a post. And then once or twice a month, share a post with a personal invitation to your fan community and make it inspiring. Consider giving your album away for free and offering something special. Once you have that engaged list, so you're using social media to attract followers and then convert them into your list, and that's your email list. How many people have email lists? Just give me a high five there so I can get a feeling for how many people have email lists and are marketing, and how many people post regularly on socials. And if you're struggling with it, just let me know. Struggling. Just give me some feedback there. Hang on, I got to move my I can't see the chat over here because they did a new thing on StreamYard. I don't want to see that. I just want to see the chat. That's weird. I can't see it. Okay, there it is. I found it. Okay. So we want to leverage social media to attract followers because number 3 is, use your email list to turn casual followers into super fans. Okay, so we have a lot of struggling here. Yeah, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. The pause. Yeah. Let's get back to consistently posting. I think you have to spend some time on figuring out the content that you want to develop. Look at other artists and what they do, but look at a lot so you can, and then other brands, so you can get a big picture of different kinds of content that you can use, and when you don't have music out yet, the type of content will be a little bit different, but let people get to know the things you think about and the things that you like, and share other posts that you really like, and talk about being an artist in development, and talk about your fears and insecurities if that feels comfortable to you. If it doesn't, because other people will relate to that, or tell stories, or talk about that you're in the studio and talk about the process of writing. Like there's really no shortage when you really sit down and concentrate on it, instead of just kind of go into freeze, paralysis analysis mode. You just have to get in motion. Remember that when you start to post and you haven't for a while, nobody's really seeing the feed. So you have some time, and you can always archive posts. You have some time to kind of experiment with things, right? So that number 3 is to use your email list to turn casual followers into super fans. And this is really important because your email list is still the number 1 way to build your followers. So I mean, your email list attached to your website, right? Here's the reason why. And you really need to listen to this, guys. This is really, really, really important. Okay. Your followers on social media are not yours. They belong to the platform, not to you. Should you lose your profile for any reason, your ability to communicate with them is gone. You don't have their email addresses or any way to contact them. One of my clients was getting ready for her album release. She had over 20,000 followers on her Facebook page and suddenly lost the page. She abruptly realized that she had no way to contact them. Right? How crazy is that? So there she was, getting ready to release to her 20,000 followers. She built the audience up. It was getting very exciting, coming down to the release day, and boom, gone. No way to communicate with them, right? So the solution is to grow your list. So social media followers are important, but we want to convert them over to the list. So we want to, a couple posts a month. I wouldn't do more than that. Inviting them to get your free album and something special from you. Like, even a free album these days, because people stream it, they don't even feel like they're paying for music. Sometimes isn't enough to really pull them in. You're going to have to play with what that thing is. But that can really help, or just to join the community. And once you have a community, then you can, invite them to a private Zoom, maybe have a monthly. I know one of our artists she does a Facebook live stream with her private group, and she invites people in and they opt in for that, Number 4 is to use authenticity and storytelling to your advantage. So we connect through stories. People remember a story more than any other communication that you share. Like that story I shared about my artist who was getting ready to release her album and then she lost her 20,000 followers. That'll stick in your head probably more than the other points that I'll make, right? So what are the stories surrounding your music? They really are right there inside the songs, right? They're right there inside of your universe, right? The things that are important to you, the struggles that you've overcome, the struggles that you are overcoming, the things that matter to you, right? The more that you share, and you can use stories to do that, the more that people can connect to you, right? Oh, she understands, right? Oh, Dory loves high vibe music. she's into 528 hertz or whatever, like when you share that stuff, then you bring along those people that are interested in those things, right? And then when you're performing, you can share your stories, right? So when you share the stories of the songs, right, then it helps people connect to you more. Briefly put, right? So, I wrote this song when I was getting over a breakup and feeling pretty devastated. Those of you that have ever been through something like that, you're probably going to relate. Something like that, right? And it just sort of frames the song. Authenticity is everything. And when you offer up authenticity, somebody said the other day, and it's really important, authenticity is the highest vibration that exists, right? So when you can be brave enough and courageous enough in a society that does not celebrate authenticity, that celebrates fitting in, but the artist stands out, right? The artist understands something about authenticity, and fans gravitate towards artists they can relate to. Look, we saw the Grammy Awards last weekend. How many people saw that? Raise your hand if you did. I'm going to open up for questions soon too, so get your questions ready. But we're seeing, people are kind of seeing through the inauthenticity of the awards. And look, I voted on the Grammys for over 25 years. I've been a voting member, and I watched the Grammys almost every year. But the last 2 years, I had trouble watching, to be honest. And I think because the world is waking up more and more. I mean, I've been talking about the music industry for a very long time, and the nefariousness and the sinister activity and the control of artists from the beginning of time. People look at me sometimes like I have 5 heads. Now they don't anymore because people are more awake. And Beyonce winning the country album, the fact is it doesn't matter how good the album was. It's that she really stole an award, in my opinion, from a bona fide, hardworking country artist. That was my problem with it. And I think people started to see through it. So I think, the industry is changing, and, corruption is more obvious now. The Grammys are actually bought. You can buy a performance spot. Labels do each other's favors behind the scenes. I'm not involved in any of it. I stay on the outskirts of all of that because I think it's soul crushing for real artists. But the Grammys is not the end all be all. It just represents the idea of excellence in artistry, and every artist should strive towards that. And that's what you take away with it. You don't let that destroy anything in your brain. You continue to make the best music that you possibly can, become the best singer that you possibly can, become the best songwriter you possibly can, become the best performer you possibly can. People love great music. And when you get in that flow, that's when things start to happen in your career, right? And the 5th one, and then I'm going to open for questions, is to really use live streams, and then also special private concerts or special events to really forge strong connections with your team. And that's a whole thing I don't have time to go into today, but you can see it over on the blog. I'll just talk about live streams for a second. Live streams are a great way to connect with your audience all over the world. Yes, you have to get the right setup. Yes, you have to get, like I'm filming today on Instagram on my phone, and then I'm filming on live stream on YouTube, and the lighting is a little bit funky. I should have brought the lights on more for YouTube. And all of that needs to be worked out ahead of time, and you need to get the right background and the backdrop and the right microphone, and all of those things need to get worked out. But it's doable. And once you start working those pieces out, it's an incredible opportunity that opens you up to a fan base worldwide, global, all over the world, because only people locally can come to your concert. So we recommend like doing a quick live once a week on something like YouTube or Instagram and inviting them to a longer live stream where you do a concert and you connect with them and chat with your fans and that kind of thing. And, sell merch and invite them to your community and things like that. So live streams are an incredible way to really build true fans, connect with your fan base, engage with your fan base, and get them engaged with you. So that question that Shallon Terry asked, how important is it to show your face? Tips on what to share. Oh, thanks, Pauline. You're just a doll. Yeah, the Grammys do not matter. They are not the end all be all. But yeah, so Shallon Terry to ask that question, how important is it to show your face? It is important to show your face because people that hide behind an avatar, it feels like you're hiding. You're hiding. Like, we want to know the real person. So it is important that you're on camera. And you just have to figure out, get all the logistics organized, and pretty soon there you are. You don't have to do it perfectly. You can upgrade your equipment. You'll see that even when you go over to YouTube and you watch artists or you watch other brands, you'll see them start out as kind of funky background. Like some of the mini voice lessons I did, it's like everything's kind of chaotic in the background, not quite as organized as it is right now. And you get more focused on the details as you go, and you upgrade your camera and you upgrade your microphone and your interface and things like that. It doesn't have to be perfect in the beginning. And I think that is what causes that analysis paralysis and causes you to just freeze. You do need to get in motion. So it's important to get these things organized. So I'm going to open it up for questions from anyone. Hi, Des Marvel. Good to see you. Hi, Alphine. Anybody have any questions about growing your fan base, about being an artist, any areas where you're stuck? Where are you stuck or struggling? Just post in the comments. On one end, it's probably the most exciting time ever to be an artist because you can put out your own music and build your own brand. We saw that post from James Blake this past week talking about how he left the big labels and he's going on his own, and he's really being an artist advocate. And, go and check out his page. You'll see the black and white post where he's talking about, what it's like to build your own artist brand. But, we really are seeing the collapse of the music industry. It doesn't work anymore, right? And so, this is a very exciting time. On the other hand, it's a challenging time because more music is in the marketplace now than ever before. So the importance of excellence in your music and really cultivating the songs and cultivating the theme and cultivating, becoming the best singer you possibly can and the best songwriter and making the best record that you possibly can and becoming the best performer that you can. Every time you do a new record, up leveling. Don't get paralysis in the beginning. You need to just get stuff out. But that is what's going to take it over the top for you. We've only released, tell me what the decision is, Fred, and I can help you. We've only released 5 singles since 2019, thinking of releasing one mantra album in March and then a song album after that. Too much to do, 2 albums in 1 year. Definitely. Yeah, I think that artists can get very compartmentalized when they start thinking about stuff. It might be a good idea to kind of blend in this next album in carving and seeding the brand and what you really want to do. I'd have to really take a listen to give you more feedback. Feel free to set up a music review. We have a Valentine's Day sale coming up. You save 30% off. But I will listen to your music and I'll come to the session already having listened and with ideas for that if you want. But I would not do 2 albums in 1 year. I mean, you can get them ready, but then you want to space them out because once the album is out, that's it. It's you want to space out the release of the music so that you can keep audience engagement. And singles are good, but They're good in between albums, but you still need an album. You still need albums. That big artists still release albums for a reason, because it's a body of work. And, like one artist I know is she's just been releasing singles for the past 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, when are you going to do an album? Because it's not a collection of work, and like a festival's not going to bring you on, or like you're hurting your career opportunities by not doing that. Sabri says, is it worth it to just hire a social media manager? It can be. It can be. It can also be a nightmare. But it might be a good idea to brainstorm with somebody. I'm happy to do it with you, like your content, and look at a bunch of content that you like and start to pull pieces together, because you need to direct the content anyway. Like nobody's just going to swoop in and do it. Like after you have figured it out, then they can execute that, right? And then bring somebody in. That's what I would do. You can waste a lot of money on social media, and whenever you bring somebody in, you have to be the visionary. You have to direct them. So you really have to know what you want. Fred, I'm about to release an EP, thinking of releasing a singles every month leading up to when I release the EP. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, singles are good. On the way to an album, that's a great way to seed the album for sure. I think that's a great idea. And you could do it every 6 weeks, or depending on your schedule. Yeah, every month, every 6 weeks. Yeah, for sure. But you really want to, pay attention to trying to build the audience before, the singles will help, but they won't. The release of music is not necessarily going to build the audience. And I think that's what artists think. It's the consistent posting. It's the regularity. It's the using different content. Each platform is different as well and requires different content. So you really need to start with 1 or 2. I say 1, and then a second one like Instagram and YouTube, or TikTok and YouTube, or whatever it is. Keep in mind, YouTube is a search engine. So it's very beneficial for you to promote on YouTube. Can I put those 5 singles on one album with other songs? Yes, you can do that. Yeah, you just have to go into your distributor and assign them. Hi, Jacqueline. Do you have a blog post on how to set things up for a live stream? I do somewhere. I would just go to the blog and search for live stream. The equipment piece of it, we did in a workshop. You can write into info@Cari and ask them, and they can point you to where that information might be. Hi, Signy. Good to see your beautiful name here. When it comes to songwriting, some experts, Rick Rubin, Taylor Swift, think it's best to write a song from start to finish. The moment inspiration strikes and can revise later. I only go halfway. Yeah, there's lots of theories, and I'm sure Rick and Taylor have several theories, and they don't just do that. But one of the theories is, yes, to try to get down as much as you can at that moment inspiration strikes. The more skilled you are as a songwriter, the easier it is to go back and tweak and add. When you're lacking in skills, it's almost impossible. It's really hard. That's why I formed my label with my songwriting team, and we direct the artist A&R and direction of the vibe of the song, of the lyrical content, build out the backstory and build out the sound and direction. And then you co-write using the skills of those higher level writers, because it's hard to do it on your own. We've kind of taken a little break with that, but I'm gearing up towards that again this year. We have a signature songwriting circle coming in July where you can join us and you can opt in to write with our writers and go through that experience. When I'm in a blank, what are your thoughts on songwriting approach? A lot of it is using our A&R process. We dig down into what are the themes in your life and what are the things you really want to write about. I think try using our 101 ideas. So we have an opt-in. You'll find it on our link tree. It's called 101 Ideas to Inspire Your Next Song. And it's written in questions. So you just answer the questions. Okay. All right. Let me go over Rosie Donovan. Look at you. Wow. So good to see you. Which might help my career, an EP or an album? Either. I think an album, to be honest, but EP is good too. Oh, thank you. All right, let me go over to YouTube. Can you speak more on authenticity? How does one establish more authenticity in artistic presence presentation? It's really knowing who you are. It's really knowing who you are and who you are not, right? Sometimes we know who we are by knowing who we are not. So I think doing more work on that end. I would also look into the brand archetypes. So there are 12 brand archetypes used in marketing, and there's a really cool quiz that you can take. Let me find it for you, called the 12 brand archetype. There's one that I like in particular from Jen Kem. It's better than the other ones because there's a lot of them. I'm putting it in the chat on YouTube for you. Oh, I put it in twice. It's so good. It's just so good. And it will, I would pay for the additional 2. So there's one main archetype and then there's 2 additional archetypes. And it tells you a lot about you and how to present yourself as an audience. In our artist sanctuary, I think it was September, I did a whole mastermind on artist archetypes. So you could also join ASM and go watch that mastermind because you get access to all the past masterminds. ASM is our artist sanctuary membership. My sister who's an artist, is paying a social media manager who works out of Cali and says she works with Doja Cat, $8.50 per call, didn't see much follower growth. Yeah, it's generally, you don't want to pay for social media management. You think it's going to grow your following, but it doesn't. And you really need to understand social media and get schooled on it and direct the brand. Yeah, you really, there's no way around doing that work. Pauline, you'll find Artist Sanctuary membership on our link tree. You'll find all the links for that. Oh, for that, I can't get just Google 12 brand archetype, Jen Kem, JenKem, 12 brand archetype quiz, Jen Kem, and you'll find it. All I have to say, be smart with bringing out a social media manager. Yeah, I know. Look, I still do my own social media because every time we brought on somebody, it looks like somebody else is managing it and it just doesn't work. But it is about getting it streamlined so it doesn't take over your life. So planning the content ahead of time and getting some kind of structure to the content really helps. So you're not sitting there every day. What am I going to post? What am I going to post? Oh, it's Jen, Jen. It's not, here it is. It's Jen. I can't give you the link because I don't have time to type it out, but that's her name. Jen Kem, Kem. Yeah. But that will tell you a lot. That'll give you a lot of information, and then go watch Jen's videos on those brand archetypes and study it. Like, don't just like take it once and like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Like, study it, like start to understand, because all of the big brands use the 12 brand archetype in their marketing. All the big brands, and this comes from Carl Jung. So it's really based in true archetypes of personality, and the psychology of them. It's incredible. So I'm going way over today, but this is my first day back. So it's good to see everybody. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. You can ask a question ahead of time in the subject of the week that we post on Mondays. And thank you for spending this time with me today. And you can see all of the past live streams over on YouTube. We're not posting them any longer on the GenChem site. Is confusing though. I would just Google the 12 brand archetype quiz, GenChem, and it'll come up. You'll find all the past live streams over on YouTube under the live section. And when you come and join our Artist Sanctuary membership, we can really work over all of the aspects of your music, because we meet for mastermind, we meet for a coaching call, and we meet for a special event each month. Three sessions, hour and a half with me live on Zoom for $49 a month. It's a steal of a deal. And then you get the backlog of all of everything formatted in slides and worksheets. And we have a sale coming up, Sabri. Our Valentine's Day sale is coming up shortly, and you get 30% off. So that's what I would use. You also get 25% off as a prior client. So if you're in a hurry, you could just write into info@Cari Cole and just ask them for that coupon. And yeah, I don't know. App for your posts. I'm really not sure what you mean. Do you mean to schedule? Oh, create? Oh, I like Canva. Canva is the best. Canva is the king, the queen, the holy grail for creating social posts. All right, everybody. Thanks for spending this time with me today. I will see you next week. Have a wildly creative week. Send you all my love. I'm cheering you on like no tomorrow. So when you feel down in the dumps, say, Cari's got my back. I'm here for you. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Anyone needs any help with anything, write into info@Cari Cole. I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.